Hello again, finally, after a year and a half. Okay, so here we go. Been trying to make these YouTube videos here for a little while, and hasn't really been working. As soon as we slow down, and these things happen within tenths of a second, we really must stay ahead of it. And so this will be a rapid-fire video, giving as much information as I can, as quickly as I can, checking the time, and to keep it around 10 minutes, because I know the 45-minute videos were a little much. So, here we go. The light is the love, and the love is the truth, and the truth is the information. Love is a blending of opposites. Anytime you see an opposite, it's actually one thing. Do you know what this symbol means? It is the symbol of the Creator. It is the two that are one, and the pointing upward. Always align upward, and we jump up to the high point, the meeting of the two pyramids, the pyramid of the inverted pyramid. You stay on that balance point of creation. As long as there's no fear, you stay there. And if there's any fear, it knocks you out, then you just jump back in. You clear the fear so you can jump. Anytime you're experiencing anything in fear, you're seeing things in a lie. First clear the fear, then look again. You'll see it's different than that. And oh, is it different than that? And at least five, maybe six paradigm shifts now. Now what I mean by paradigm shift is I keep myself at a higher than comfortable frequency at all times. It keeps myself centered, keeps me present, and it feels uncomfortable all the time for the past year and a half. And we will make it through, and we did, and we do. Oh, we never give up, we never give in, and we just keep going. Anyone who thinks they're insane, maybe you are, but you're probably not, and maybe it's both. So often it's both. And so we keep going. What's next? What's next? How do I do this? How do I tell? Oh yes, you have wings, and you have multiple sets of arms. I know this seems strange at first, but every set of arms corresponds to a chakra. So they say, maybe, but then how many chakras do we have? It's infinite. Many things you can do with your hands, and so often put it back. If it feels like you're being drained by something, you're actually not. You took something you weren't supposed to have, so just give it back. As soon as you give it back, you feel fine. The open hand receives. The gift given is given to give again. And as soon as you give, you have it to give again. And then you give it again, and you have it to give again. And then you give it again, and you have it to give again. You see? And it's easy. And you will never get tired as long as you give it back. To any energy worker, it's in a curve, you see? The energy goes in a curve. You send it over your shoulder, it goes behind you, and then the person you are sending it to receives, and it follows your intention. My intention is to help, always to help, and to give as much as I can, to give information, to give healing, to give in whichever way I may. Oop. Just then I jumped into the waterfall of light, burns things off, and I jump up to the high point. Oop, gotta stop talking, gotta do a thing. It helps to be fast, and thankfully these energies that have been flowing through have been increasing our mental acuity and the speed of our nerves, which is excellent for going very, very fast, because these things that are seeming to chase us aren't really chasing us, they're actually soul fragments. See, whenever there's trauma or warfare or murder, the soul fragments in various ways. They say, oh, that didn't happen, and as soon as they say it didn't happen, then it splits off and it goes out into the world. And then it finds someone that it can happen to. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. And so someone who is fighting for their life is all of a sudden fighting for their life at me, and I don't like it, and so I disinvite. Never fight. If you fight, it just gets worse. Simply disinvite. Open your heart, you shine, send a blast of light through your hand, you simply say, disinvite. Call out for help to the angels. They're always waiting to help, but they wait until you call. They wait until you call because your choice is sacred. Not only is your choice sacred, it is inviolatable. If ever you think your choice has been violated, look closer, because there are aspects of you that are calling for experiences that you may not want. And I say that part does not speak for me. I respectfully decline the trade. Love only gives, and we give it back. Because as soon as you give it back, it isn't happening. And don't worry, you'll never run out, because it's infinite. And as I align with the light of love and truth in each present moment, here we are. I drop the past, I drop the future, and I jump up to the high point continuously, again and again and again and again and again and again. And as long as I stay there, for as long as I can stay there, which is usually a second or two at a time, and then I jump back again, then we're cool, because it's this present moment where God exists, and God is love, and God is light, and God cares. He says, well, why doesn't he take these things away? He says, well, what is your choice? Because there is one rule, you know, and that is be. And just be. So far so good, almost to the 5-minute point. Let's see, what else? A lot. I'm a little frustrated right now because I keep getting attacked. Not really, because all fear is a lie and we drop it. And if it seems like we are and it causes fear, then we know we're not seeing it clearly, because that part does not speak for me. There's a little nervousness, and nervousness is a form of fear. All fear is a lie and we drop it. Also, all judgments are a form of fear, and all fear is a lie and we drop it. And as the fear clears, then we see the truth, and the truth is in this present moment. And who we are in full manifestation is who we are in this present moment. Not a tenth of a second ago or a tenth of a second from now, but right now. How do I do this? How do I help? Because I want to. We're getting very good. It is helping people. I know it is. There's still a little doubt, and all doubt is a form of fear, and all fear is a lie, we drop it. And as we drop it, then we rise, and as we rise, we see, and as we see, we may be, and we give it. We send it over our shoulders, you see, from our hands. We send it from our hands with the intention to give, and it goes past from the left hand. Isn't this hand, actually it's this hand, or that hand, or that hand, or that hand, or that hand. And it's sent around in a curve over our shoulder, and then behind. And as it goes behind, it arrives to who we are looking at, and who we see in the portal, who we are tuned into with our open heart and our open mind. And we see them there, we send it through, and then everything from the right hands goes past the left shoulder and behind, and anything that they need, they find. Anything they don't need circles back into the hand, and we never go without. You'll never get tired, and you will help people enormously by this. You will see them let go of fears they've held on to for lifetimes. You will see them cured of diseases they say are incurable. You will see that your energy healing is happening more effectively and more easily than ever before, and you will never get tired. Because if you got tired, it's because you picked up something you didn't need. Just give it back. And as soon as you give it back, then you have what you need, because the open hand receives. What else? The diamond and the X and the blending of opposites, because love has no opposite. Love is the blending of opposites and the realization that all opposites are actually the same thing viewed from different perspectives, and thereby creation. To any degree that we are seeing opposites, we are looking at something with some degree of fear. As the fear clears, we look again and we see, oh, it's actually the same thing, but in another way. Examples? Maybe someday. And right now, in this present moment, tobacco really helps. Alcohol seems to help, but it really only just dulls the edges. LSD slows us down dramatically, which is excellent, and brings us way down, which we don't necessarily like, because, we like to be up there, so we can see, so we can help, so we can be. But nevertheless, it is a good respite. What else? Are you awake? People say they're awake. Are they awake? Maybe. I'm not saying they aren't. I'm certainly not saying they aren't, because I don't know these things. But are you awake now? What about now? What about now? How about now? Now? Are you awake now? What about now? Because it really works that way. It's not like you wake up once and then you're awake forever. That's not how it works. You wake up and then you wake up and then you wake up and then you wake up. Slow down for 0.2 of a second. That's far too long. You see, it really is that fast, and we really must go, ooh, and I don't like that. I don't like that. I got to do a thing. It's important to let go of the wave at the end and then forget that it ever happened, because it has the most impact the least amount of time you give to it. See, it's about manifestation. It works that way. You think about it real quick and then you drop it and you never think about it again, and it'll happen right away. The sooner you wait, the sooner you get there. And remember, it's not a straight line, it's a curve. Everything in the universe travels on a curve. If you try to go in a straight line, it's too deliberate. It'll fall apart right away. It won't even happen. And you'll notice that becomes very important in this year and the coming years, that if you're trying to do something, do it on a curve, and that means waiting. That means you simply say, that would be great, and then you just drop it. And then you wait. And then it happens. Yeah. Voices. So many voices. If they tell you anything that sounds bad or anything that is derogatory in any way, they are lying. If they say it's too late, it is not too late. Keep going. Because they're just trying to distract you and they have no power whatsoever. Those who say, keep going, you're doing great, that was awesome, you are amazing, do it again, yes. Those are the ones we listen to, and eventually you'll learn that you have multiple sets of ears. Simply close the ones at the base of your skull, and you do it like this, just like that. And you see, I'll do it again. They're almost always closed now, because we don't like it. And if you don't like it, don't listen. It's as easy as that. As we drop the past, drop the future, and jump up to the high point. And as we do, there's greater stability. Notice there's less mania. We can slow down just a little, but actually we're not slowed down. We're speeded up in a different way and waiting. And as long as there's no fear, we stay there. Multiple worlds there are. Many, many worlds that you are in right now. Oh yes, in the sacred geometry of it all. I'm very excited to talk all about it, and I think I will. I think I might. I just might. That one might be a keeper.